Okay, now let us go to the next point, that is combustion. Okay, so combustion. So what is mean by combustion? What do you think? What is happening during the combustion process? What is happening during the combustion process? What do you think? See, the combustion is nothing but a simple chemical reaction. It is a simple chemical reaction which is generating or liberating the heat, which is liberating the heat, and it is occurring at a particular temperature, that is self ignition temperature, that is called as a combustion process. So combustion process is nothing but a chemical reaction which is occurring at a particular temperature and generating the heat, that is called as a combustion process. So you can see that the combustion is a chemical reaction of rapid oxidation. See, oxidation is important in that case of combustible elements of the fuels. It results in energy released as a combustion products and are formed. So that is what the combustion process. So there are three major combustible elements in common fuels are, one is carbon. Okay, so carbon will burn, hydrogen will burn, and sulfur will burn. So carbon is reacting with the oxygen, that will generate CO2. Hydrogen will react with the oxygen, that will generate H2O, and sulfur will react with the oxygen, that will generate the SO2. So combustion is nothing but a oxidation chemical process as oxidation, which will generate the energy at a particular temperature. That is the important point. So you can say that that is a combustion process. Now see, let us have some terminology for the combustion. So you are knowing that the combustion means an exothermic reaction. Okay, so we are saying that energy release means what? That is nothing but the exothermic reaction of rapid oxygen for combustible elements of fuels and oxygen with release of heat energy. Then we are knowing that there are two parts, reactant and products. So you are knowing that components of the fuel that before the combustion reaction are called as exist before combustion reaction are called as the reactants, while the components that exist after combustion reactions are called as the product. So you can say that the reactants will react, and for particular temperature is reached, if particular temperature is reached, then it will start the reaction and it will generate the heat, it will release the heat and gives the products. So that is a combustion phenomenon is going to occur. So in this case, I am saying that particular temperature means what? That is the ignition temperature. It is also called as a ignition temperature. So how will you define the ignition temperature? Ignition temperature can be defined as it is the temperature of a fuel element which is the lowest temperature at which the burning starts or oxidation process starts. That is called as a ignition temperature. See, we are having the fuel around us. Okay, so as I have said that wood can be used as a fuel. So around you there is a lot of wood, but that wood will not burn till the ignition temperature is not reached, because it is requiring the oxygen and ignition temperature. Oxygen is available in the atmosphere abundantly, but temperature is not there, and that is called as the ignition temperature. So ignition temperature, if it is reached, then and then only the combustion process is started. Even though if you are having the leak of other fuels like LPG or petrol or diesel, that may not start the combustion processes naturally. You required certain temperature, and that is ignition temperature, from where the combustion process may start. So that is what the ignition temperatures. Now physical, see, actually one question is asked uh, in previous syllabus, means in 2012 syllabus or 2008 syllabus. The question were asked, what are the laws which are governing the combustion processes? So those laws you should remember. See, actually these laws we have studied during our thermodynamics part only. Just we have to remind it so that you can apply that for the combustion process. So the first law is law of conservation of mass. So during chemical reaction, the total mass of each chemical element must be same on both sides of the equation, if even though the elements exist in different chemical composition in reactants and products. So that is a law of conservation of mass. Means what? Suppose I am having the CH4. Okay, so that is a methane. So now in methane there are two elements. One is carbon and another is hydrogen. Now whatever the mass of carbon is there, whatever the mass of hydrogen is there, that will be remains same in the product also. The product is maybe CO2 and H2O. So whatever the carbon is there, that is not going to destroy. The mass of carbon is not going to destroy, or mass of hydrogen is not going to destroy, but it may converted into the other composition, chemical compositions. So methane CH4 is there, that CH4 may not be remains as it is, but carbon and hydrogen is going to remains as it is, not as it is, but we can say that the mass of those two components or elements is not going to destroy. So how much carbon is there before combustion process, that same amount will remains after the combustion process also. Similarly, how much mass of hydrogen is exist in the reactant side, that same hydrogen mass will remains as it is on the product side also. And this is very important law with which we can have the chemical reaction analysis. Okay, so that is not going to destroy. That is called as the law of conservation of mass. Then next law is there, ideal gas laws. So ideal gas laws we are going to apply for the combustion. That is, we are knowing that Boyle's law, Charles law, Gay-Lussac's law. Those laws we can apply. So we can apply the PV is equal to MRT equation also here. PV is equal to MRT or NRT equations we can use for the combustion process. So this is PV is equal to nRT. N is what? Number of moles, where R is the universal gas constant. It is fixed for all gases and the value for that is 8314.3 joules per kilomole Kelvin. You can take that 8.314 kilojoule per kilomoles per Kelvin also. So that is the universal gas constant, we are knowing that. And V is nothing but the molar volume means the volume of 1 mole. Molar volume means volume of 1 mole, that can be considered as the molar volume. So this equation is applicable for the combustion process also. Now we can have the Avogadro's law also, which can be applicable for the combustion, and that says that if you are having the NTP conditions, then the volume for 1 mole is fixed, and that is 22.41 meter cube per kilomoles. Okay, if you are having 1 kilomole, then the volume of any gas is fixed, and that is 22.41 meter cube. So this is Avogadro's law that we can apply for the all gases which are generated during the combustion process. Okay, so for that is the important point, that's why I am saying if you are having the 1 mole of gas, then it is consisting this much volume. If you are having the 2 moles, then it will be 2 into this much, that is 44.82 will be there. If you are having 3 moles, then it may comes near about 67.23 meter cube. So like that, the number of moles will increase, the volume will increase. So the number of moles are indication of the volume, and that's why for volumetric analysis the number of moles are important parameters. Okay, so these three laws are generally we can consider. Now other physical laws are there which we can consider, but these are the three major laws that we have to take care during study of the combustion processes. Okay. Okay, then next point, let us have the combustion process or combustion reaction. So just I want to have the chemical reactions. See, this is a simple part and introductory parts, that's why I am going fast. So if you are having the doubts, then you can stop me and you can ask the questions to me, no problem. Okay, because see, this is you can study it by reading also. The typical part which is more difficult, I will concentrate on that from the next lecture. So today just I am going to prepare the background of the combustion. So let us see the combustion reaction. So you can have the combustion reaction if the carbon is reacting with the oxygen, then there are two possibilities. One is it may generate the carbon dioxide or it may generate the carbon monoxide. If the carbon is reacting with the oxygen and generating the carbon monoxide, then that is called as the incomplete combustion. Okay, so this is the example of incomplete combustion. Complete combustion will be there when the carbon will react with the oxygen and it will generate the CO2. Okay, so that can be considered as a complete combustion. While in this case, the carbon is reacting with the oxygen and it is generating the CO. So that is the incomplete combustion. Incomplete combustion. So how will you interpret this reaction? So you can interpret reaction like this, that the 2 moles, see, please see, this is very important point. It is required for future analysis. So please concentrate and listen what I am saying. So here I am saying that 2 moles of carbon is reacting with 1 mole of oxygen, generating the how much moles? Here it is shown the 1 mole. Okay, but in this case that equation is not balanced. So what you do, you have to balance the equation first. So how will you balance it? That can be balanced by writing the 2 here. Okay, you can write here 2 and you can balance it. So that should be the 2. Now introducing the molar mass. So if you consider the molar mass of this, then it is 2 into 12. 12 is what? That is a molecular weight, plus 32. What is that? That is a molecular weight. Okay, so these are the molecular weight. If you are reacting with, then 2 into CO, so that will give us 56 kg of CO. So what is the meaning of this equation? If you want to find out how much amount of oxygen is required for burning of the 1 kg of carbon, then you can find out like this. That is, number of moles into molecular weight will gives you the mass of carbon. This is the mass of oxygen and this is the mass of CO. So we can say that 24 kgs of carbon when you will burn, then 32 kg of oxygen is required, which will generate the 56 kg of CO. Okay, so this is a reaction. Now if I am having 1 kg of carbon, then I can divide this equation and I will get, if I having 1 kg of carbon, then 4 by 3 kg of oxygen is reacting, which will generate 7 by 3 kgs of CO, that is carbon monoxide. So 1 kg of carbon is reacting 4 by 3 kgs of oxygen, which will gives you 7 by 3 kgs of CO. So this is the balance equation you can have, and we can say that the we can find out that how much amount of oxygen is required for burning of 1 kg carbon for conversion of CO. Now in this case you can find out the amount of oxygen also, and you can find out the amount of carbon monoxide generated also. Okay. Similarly, so it indicates that 1 kg of carbon requires 430 kg of oxygen to produce 7 by 3 kgs of carbon monoxides. So all of you got this? See, this is a very important point. If you are not getting, let me know. I can explain it in a different way also. So that's why please let me know. Now let us consider the one more example, then you can understand in a better way. Instead of having incomplete combustion, if I consider that there is a complete combustion, and if you say that there is a complete combustion, means carbon will converted into the carbon dioxides. If we are saying that the complete combustion of carbon is occurring, means carbon is converted into the CO2. So if you say that C plus O2 gives us CO2, C plus O2 gives us CO2. So this is a chemical reaction which is taking place. Okay. Now this equation is balanced. So what is the meaning of this? That 1 mole of carbon is reacting with 1 mole of oxygen, which is generating 1 mole of CO2. Okay, 1 mole of CO2. In above equation, 2 moles of carbon is reacting with 1 mole of oxygen, which will gives us 2 moles of CO. Here it is not written, but it should be 2 moles of the CO. Now see, if I am knowing this equation, that is chemical equation, I want to find out that how much of oxygen is required to burn 1 kg of fuel, as well as I want to know that how much amount of the carbon dioxide is generated when 1 kg of carbon is burned. Now how will you find it? So you can find out it by putting the molecular weights of this or molar masses of this. So what is the molar mass of carbon? The molar mass of carbon is 12. So 12 kg of carbon. 1 mole means what? 12 kgs of carbon. 1 moles means what? 12 kgs of the carbon. 1 mole of oxygen means what? That is 32 kgs of the O2. Okay, so 12 kgs of carbon is reacting with 32 kgs of oxygen, which will give you 44 kgs of the CO2. Okay, now when you want to find out that how much amount of oxygen is required to burn 1 kg of carbon, just divide it. So you will get that 1 kg of carbon requires 32 by 12, means it is near about 8 by 3 oxygen, which will generate 11 by 3 carbon dioxide. Okay, so this is the interpretation of the chemical reactions, and with these chemical reactions I can find out that amount of oxygen required, as well as I can find out the amount of combustion products generated from this chemical reaction. Okay, all of you got this?